There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
Horror Movie Podcast. Welcome to the Blood, Gore, and Ghouls Horror Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Van Ghoul. Did you know that for only $3 a month, you can help support us here at BGG Podcast and get a shout out on every episode? Go throw us a sub at patreon.com/BGG Podcast. And shout out to Ghoulie Julie for supporting us over on Patreon. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Discord. Be sure to follow on all social media. Stay up to date on everything that we're doing. Now, if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, please hit that follow button, download our weekly episodes, and give us a 5-star rating. And if you have any feedback, questions, fun facts, or a topic that you want us to talk about on a future episode, then send us an email at bggpodcast@gmail.com. Now, tonight, we have a returning guest. I wasn't expecting him back so soon, but he happened to be back in town and ready to chat. So I asked him back to the studio here for another episode before he gets ready to tour the country. So please welcome back Jimmy Mowery.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. I'm so fucking scared right now.
My nipples are very sensitive.
Yo, you're so cute.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Feels like I was just here.
Right. Yeah, usually I try to put some time in between guests, but like I said, though, you know, I saw you were in town for a show yesterday, and I didn't have anything put together for anything this week, and it was like the heavens opened up.
Just made sense.
Yeah, the stars aligned. It made sense. So I hit you up and said, hey, let's do this again.
Good. I
Here
like
we are.
it.
Here we are. So what's up? What you been up to since the last time you were here, like 2 weeks ago?
I was in Hershey, and then I was in Georgia, down near Atlanta. Yeah, we hit North Carolina, then Georgia, and back to North Carolina, and then back home.
Nice.
Now we're back home for till the 11th, the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, then I got to head to Florida.
So you get to watch the Super Bowl and then leave, or you have to leave and miss the Super Bowl?
I wish I'm gonna drive halfway, which is like Columbia, South Carolina, and Kurt lives there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, I guess, watch it at his house.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta watch it, even though as a Raiders fan, it's like the worst possible Super Bowl matchup, as like watching, the rival Chiefs, who I hate, and then with the 49ers, it's like Battle of the Bay, so they're technically rivals too. So it's just all bad.
Yeah.
I hope they both lose.
If only it were possible. I've heard that a lot though from a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I'll set this thing down. I don't know.
Oh, now you're gonna set it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Glad you could do that before we started recording.
Yeah.
Well, while you do that, we'll get into some horror movie news.
Scary movie.
News.
So after 30 years of fake updates, rumors, all the goddamn fake movie posters for this movie, we finally have our official first Beetlejuice 2 poster, and it's titled Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. So it's set to be released on September 6th of this year. There's no other news yet, but I'm hoping for a trailer here very soon. I did see something online that said there was one ready to go. It's just a matter of when they're going to release it. But yeah, we finally got our first official poster, which is just, two hands of presumably Beetlejuice holding the ticket that has 9/6/24 on it. So I'm just glad to finally see a real poster, because it's literally been 30 years of fake posters for this fucking movie.
Damn. That's awesome. Is it still going to be same cast, do you know?
Yeah. Pretty much everyone Well, of course, Michael Keaton's back. Winona Ryder's back. Jenna Ortega is playing Lydia's daughter. So I'm sure she'll be the one interacting with Beetlejuice for the majority of it. Catherine O'Hara is back as Delia. And Willem Dafoe is joining the cast. And I think there's a few more too that have been listed, but those are the returning ones that I'm aware of. So
Sweet.
yeah, we'll see. I wasn't really excited, but I don't know. As it gets closer now, I'm more intrigued by it. So once a trailer drops, we'll see how I feel about it from there. But yeah, I'm excited that it's not Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian like it was going to be 20 years ago.
That was gonna be a thing.
That was going to be a thing, yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that was like the first kind of rumors or whispers of a sequel, which was like it was probably closer to when the first one was released. Yeah, there was some talk of it being Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which I feel like that may have been something to do with the cartoon, more like kind of along those lines. But yeah, thankfully it didn't go that route. So we'll see what Beetlejuice is all about here in September. But speaking of cast of Beetlejuice, so Catherine O'Hara, who I said is Delia Dietz in Beetlejuice, is joining the cast for The Last of Us Season 2. No word yet on which character she'll be playing, but the cast keeps getting better and better, and I'm very excited to see her in Season 2. Have you gotten a chance to watch Last of Us?
No, but I've heard about it.
It's really fucking good. Recommend if you get it. It's on HBO, so if you get a chance, check it out.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was trying to think. We have so many different streaming things.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember when it was like Netflix and Hulu, and it was like, yeah, this is so much cheaper than cable.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where you have to get every single one, and I think you're probably paying twice the amount of what cable used to be. If you get all the services, it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not a fan. So, luckily there's free ones though, like Tubi and a few others. So at least that's going. But yeah, all the big ones, way too expensive. But speaking of again, kind of Tim Burton type things, he is apparently directing a remake of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Gillian Flynn, who wrote and directed Gone Girl, or at least directed Gone Girl, will be writing the screenplay for this movie, which Gone Girl is a pretty fucked up movie, and it's based on a book as well. But yeah, that one's pretty fucked up. So I'm curious how this is going to go. And this poster here that I put on here was, of course, obviously the poster for the original, but this was also a poster they used for a flyer for a Blink-182 show.
Really?
If it looks familiar, yeah, back in like probably pre-Enema days.
Huh.
I want to say it was either a flyer or it was one of those compilation.
Yeah, I knew it looked familiar.
I'm pretty sure it was a flyer though, but yeah.
What year did the original come out?
The 50s, sometime in the 50s.
Oh, nice.
So there was the original in the 50s. There was a remake in the 70s or 80s with Daryl Hannah, I want to say, who she played like the 50-foot woman. Damn it. But yeah, so yeah, the original was in the 50s, but yeah, Tim Burton apparently is directing a remake of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. So I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel about that, but there's that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like in the 50s, like how they shot that.
Oh, I'm sure it's terrible. It's probably like lots of models and kind of like the King Kong and Godzilla type shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure it looks terrible, but probably pretty entertaining at the same time.
Right.
So our last bit of news is unfortunately sad news. So on Friday, February 2nd, we lost Carl Weathers at the age of 76. Of course, we know him as Dylan in Predator, as well as Apollo Creed from the Rocky series, and Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. So that one hurts, but rest in peace, Carl. So yeah, that's all I got for news. So we'll just get right into it.
And now, our feature presentation.
So tonight we're talking about musicians who have acted in horror movies and a couple actors in horror movies who are also musicians. When I thought about the subject for tonight, I knew there'd be a decent amount, but there's a lot. Like, too many for one episode, a lot.
Wow.
So I just put a list together of a couple different movies from different decades, musicians of kind of all different genres. So even if you're not familiar with the movie, you'll most likely know the musician or vice versa. So yeah, we'll get into it here. So the very first one I have on the list here is, of course, Chester Bennington from Saw 3D, the final chapter. This one's a little sad too, because unfortunately, Chester's no longer with us. But yeah, have you seen this particular Saw movie?
No, I haven't. I was just looking at that clip you have there, and yeah, I didn't realize that he was in anything. I want to say, I mean, I probably saw the first 3 or 4
Okay.
of all of them.
This is 6. I think it's 6. The final chapter. And then there's 4 more after that. Not so final.
4 more final.
4 more finals. The final
like
4.
It's just like the Kiss farewell tour.
Yeah, they just keep farewelling.
I was just yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They just keep farewelling.
That's right. But yeah, this I forget when this. I think this might be the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I won't say too much, but he is essentially super glued to the seat,
Oh God.
and yeah, he has to try to pull himself off of the seat, and yeah, it's a little brutal. It's a little intense, but yeah, the first time I watched it, I was very excited to see Chester in it. Cause yeah, I mean, as far as movies go, he popped up in Crank and Crank 2, just like real quick. So that was always like a fun little kind of, not Easter egg, but a fun little cameo. So yeah, when I saw 3D, I was like, oh shit, he's actually in like a legit scene. And yeah, it was gnarly. So yeah, you have to check that one out, at least just for that. The rest of the movie, but that scene's pretty dope. So
I like it. I like that idea because it sucks to get super glue just on your fingers.
oh yeah, this is like, I don't know, this is whatever's above Gorilla Glue. like
God.
He's not going anywhere. He has to pull his skin from his body.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no getting out of that one without injury. So yeah, so the last time you were here, whenever I had mentioned about music videos and we talked about the Foo Fighters, once we were done recording, and because I was listening back to the episode, make sure everything sounds okay, so I was kind of skimming through it, and I'm like, came to that part, and I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot, because the Foo Fighters made a horror movie. So,
Yeah.
although like the video, I didn't know was Evil Dead inspired, that we talked the music video, to be like, yeah, I didn't expect it from Foo Fighters when I literally own this movie. It happens. I hit record, like I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to movies and shit, and then I hit record on the podcast and I lose it all.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
That's how this stuff.
yeah, so
How this
anyone
stuff
listening
goes.
is probably like, this dude's a fucking idiot, and they're right, but I'm a little less of an idiot than I sound sometimes. So our next one is Foo Fighters, Studio 666, which is essentially
Yes.
Evil Dead. But yeah, have you checked this out?
No, I feel like I'm sure you're probably the one that told me about it, or so I know that I have heard about it and have wanted to check it out, and I've also I still really want like an album cover like that, or like a design That whole
Oh yeah.
campy 80s
Yeah.
Stranger Things vibe.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to work on that. But yeah, Studio 666 is it's essentially it's a pretty much Evil Dead of music. And yeah, it's a good time. So there's that one. Also, Dave Grohl is in Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny as
Right.
Satan,
Satan.
as well as the music video for Tribute. But yeah, Studio 666 is it doesn't get enough love. Like I feel like in the horror community, it was kind of like meh. But I don't know. It took a while to watch it, but then when I finally watched it, I was into it because like it's musicians, like rock musicians, Foo Fighters, and like Deadite demon type things, and it was fun. So definitely check that one out when you get a chance. I'm gonna give you homework.
Yeah. What there's I think I saw it on like this cracked Fire Stick, like that there's like a horror app like on those? Like a horror movie app.
There's I don't know what's on the Fire Stick, but I mean there's Shudder and Screambox, so like the two main horror streaming services. But I mean there might be something else too that's kind of not as known.
Yeah. I don't know if it was either one of those, but it was free.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. So
It might be something that's just on Fire Stick or something. But yeah.
yeah, so I like wonder if maybe it's on that or something.
Yeah. Like I said, I have it on I have it digitally, so I can always let you tap in and watch it one of these days.
I'll borrow your VHS.
Okay. I'll let you borrow my VHS. Just don't fuck it up.
I'll blow in it.
Is that what you do? You blow in the VHS?
Yeah, that's how you get it to work.
Okay. It's been a while since I watched any VHS. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, me either.
That's how you get everything to work. You just blow in it.
Yeah.
So our next one.
Sega, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. CDs. LL Cool J from Halloween H2O in 1998 and Deep Blue Sea 1999. So 98, he's fighting Michael Myers and survives. And then the next year, he's fighting sharks and survives. And overall, I mean, he's essentially, he's been an actor since 93. That was like, when I was looking, I'm pretty sure that was his first role, was in 93. And he's essentially been, I think he's been more of an actor than a musician for the most part. So it's really no surprise. But overall, pretty good actor. I liked him in those movies, at least.
You know what LL Cool J stands for?
No.
You know?
No.
I think from what someone told me, it stands for Ladies Love Cool James.
Oh. You could steal it.
Yeah.
There you go. LL Cool J Jr.
Yeah.
Straight to the top with you. That's I mean, if that's the case, that's pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty lame.
I'm pretty sure that's what, unless somebody was just fucking with me.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
If anyone out there knows what LL Cool J stands for, send us an email, bggpodcast@gmail.com. Because if it's Ladies Love Cool James, he might have lost a few points in my book there. But regardless, next one is Tom Waits. He plays Renfield in Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. He's also in a ton of other movies as well. But yeah, I've always been a fan of him in this movie. He plays the crazy Renfield pretty well. And a bonus trivia, Heath Ledger used him as inspiration for his Joker voice.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I wasn't really familiar. Like, I knew of this, or I had watched this movie, but I wasn't really familiar with Tom Waits.
Mm-hmm.
Previous to The Dark Knight. And then when I heard about Heath Ledger using him as inspiration for the voice, I looked up videos of Tom Waits, and of course recognized who he was. But yeah, he's like He sounds just like him.
Huh.
Just like the way he spoke and everything as the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's pretty much Tom Waits. Pretty interesting. But yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Waits has been an actor for a while as well, so pretty good there. Busta Rhymes, Halloween Resurrection, goes toe to toe with Michael and survives because it's Busta Rhymes. I'm pretty sure he says, what does he say? Trick or treat, motherfucker, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
So many.
So many. Yeah, not the best movie, but got some Busta in there. He took Michael out and lived to tell the tale.
And then Michael came back.
Well, Michael always comes back.
Kind of like Shredder.
Yes. Just like Shredder. Super Shredder. Yeah, right? Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is Super
That's right.
Shredder.
That's right.
Yeah. Busting through. So we got the Kid Cudi in X, which was from 2022. This is one I watched X and I really loved it, and I didn't realize that was Kid Cudi the whole time. Because I'm familiar with his music, but really not what he looks like.
Yeah.
And then of course this is like set in the 70s. So yeah, Kid Cudi. He did a really good job. He's good in that movie. That movie's good overall.
What is that? What is that movie about?
Well, it is about a group of people that go in the 70s. A group of people are trying to make a amateur pornographic movie.
Mm.
So they rent this I don't know, not a cabin, but a little shack house from this old couple, like very old couple. And it turns out that they're pretty homicidal. So, so yeah, X is the first one, and then Pearl is a prequel. But Pearl is the very old lady in X, and she just her whole life she wanted to be a star, so she wanted to be famous, and it never happened. So she takes it out on this group of people. Yeah, without giving too much away. It's a good time though. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Like what is with the sex and horror movies always seem to
Yeah,
go,
man, it's always been a thing. It's always been a staple.
always go hand in hand.
Yeah.
People just love killing people having sex.
Yeah. Or kill people and then have sex. Or
Yeah.
kill people while having sex. Yeah, I don't know. It just sets the mood, I guess.
Yeah.
Just one of those things.
Ashanti.
Ashanti from Resident Evil Extinction. Another one that I had no idea that was her until I was like doing some research for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in Resident Evil Extinction, which is the third movie in the terrible franchise of Resident Evil. But for one to remember, her character's pretty all right.
My days are cold without you.
Is that a song from Ashanti?
I think, right?
I can't remember
it's
any music from her or songs.
I feel like it was like one of those ones where, like early 2000s. Wasn't that like her and Ja Rule, I think?
Oh, it might have been. I don't remember the music.
I could take no more, keep on.
Yeah,
And Ja Rule just comes in with his smooth, great voice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, girl, baby, not.
Just rolling away. Keep on rolling. So our next one's Gavin Rosdale and Constantine, which I guess Constantine's pretty horror-ish of a movie. It's a comic book movie, but it's a pretty dark one. But yeah, Gavin Rosdale from Bush. I remember seeing this in theaters, and that always stood out. I was like, that's fucking Gavin Rosdale as a demon. And he's got like he does a little coin trick where he like
Oh, yeah.
moves the quarter between his knuckles and shit.
Okay.
Yep. Old
I do
Gavin.
remember that.
Yep. So yeah, he was I liked him in that. I thought he did a pretty good job. On the opposite end, Brandy from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
I watched this within the past year probably for the review, and I was not a fan. So the first one, I didn't think I liked as much, and then I watched it for the review, and I was like, "This is actually pretty good." Then the second one, not a fan. It was so bad, so bad, and Brandy's acting terrible,
Yeah.
so bad.
Damn.
The whole movie, just oh man, not a fan.
I just got excited when I saw that because I was like, man, 98 must have been it. Well, at first I said, I thought it said it was, I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I didn't realize it was the sequel.
Yeah, they still know, and apparently there's possibly a new one coming out. I know it was kind of announced, but yeah, I guess Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze possibly coming back for a reboot sequel, one of those deals. So yeah, I don't know.
I still.
Well, there's an even worse sequel after this one.
Oh, there was.
Yeah, that none of the actual cast is in, but it's I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and the what's the fucking dude with the hook, Ben something or other, I forget his last name, but Ben is like a ghost, so it's like a paranormal slasher.
Oh,
and it's just as terrible as that sounds. Yeah, I was a show too, I think, recently. I didn't watch it, but I think I did like one season and they didn't renew it, so not looking too good for that. But we'll see what this new sequel is all about when more news comes out for that. But getting back to the 80s, Alice Cooper, Prince of Darkness, in 1987, where he plays this nice homeless fella. And then more iconically, Mr. Krueger, Freddy's father, in Freddy's Dead from 1991. There's not much to remember from that movie, but I've always remembered that Alice Cooper was in it. So yeah, he's no stranger to horror movies, but those are the two main ones that he's been in. So it's always fun seeing him in there. Another one then from 2013, Trey Songz was in Texas Chainsaw 3D. It's another one that I think I saw his name in the credits when I first watched it, but I couldn't tell you who it was.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, and I was like, oh, okay, that's Trey Songz. But there's another one like I've I heard his music, but I couldn't point him out to you.
Right.
But that's him. He's in Texas Chainsaw 3D, another pretty bad sequel.
How many 3D versions of these franchises have there been?
Well,
not just I just mean probably the big ones.
I mean, if we go back to the 80s, Friday the 13th Part 3 was 3D. That was I think that was one of the first big horror 3Ds.
Yeah.
Jaws 3D, which is fucking terrible, but hilarious. And then the newer ones, around that era, 2010 to 2013, 14. Shit, I just lost it. My Bloody Valentine 3D, which I actually enjoy. That's a good one. Texas Chainsaw 3D, Piranha 3D, which is another fun one. Not a good movie, but it's fun. What else? There was a bunch of them. I think Final Destination 3D.
Oh God, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, but it's all they didn't do it right. Most of these didn't do it right. They just used it as the cliche, throw something at the screen.
Right.
More so a jump scare, as opposed to using it to add depth to the scene or to the background.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of corny.
Yeah.
But in theory, yeah, it could be cool, but Nah.
Yeah, I just pictured that log coming through my.
Oh yeah, Final
Windshield.
Destination 2. Yeah. No, luckily that's not in 3D. But yeah, the log truck. Everyone knows the log truck.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a scene that's fucked up an entire generation.
Yeah.
And then some. So Freddy vs. Jason 2003, Kelly Rowland. Say her name.
Kelly Rowland.
Say my name, say my name. Yeah. Again, not the best actor. But
At least she could sing.
yeah, she could sing. She could sing. But no one cares because she's not Beyonce.
Also true.
So where's Kelly now? No one knows. Not a soul. Nobody knows where Kelly's at. If you know where Kelly Rowland is, send us an email, bggpodcast@gmail.com. So Mr. Chris Christopherson in Blade, 1998. He was also in the sequels, Blade 2, Blade Trilogy, Blade Trinity. But yeah, Chris Christopherson, OG country musician. He sang with Johnny Cash. But yeah, he's I think Whistler is his name in this. But I always liked him in this. It's a cool character, cool guy.
Blade, man, been so long.
Yep. Yeah, it's another one that they're supposed to be making a new one of, but I don't know. I don't know where it's at. It's been in development for a minute. So
Wesley Snipes is probably old at this point.
well, it wouldn't be Wesley Snipes. I think it's supposed to be that Mahershala Ali. Can't think of what he's in, but I mean, he's a pretty big actor. He stays busy, but yeah, I think that was announced like a couple years ago, and not sure where it's at. So maybe one day we'll get another Blade movie. 1998, Usher in The Faculty. Speaking of the Super Bowl, Usher.
Ursher
To
to some.
Yeah, he's in The Faculty. This was one I like. So I looked up. Obviously, I looked up all these like different lists and shit of like actors or musicians who are in movies. A lot of the websites gave me like the same ones over and over again. So I have to like fucking search to like find ones that are different from all the other lists. And then add in the ones that I knew of, because like a lot of like the newer ones weren't in there. And that was one I just like thought of today when I was finding these pictures, and I was like, fucking Usher is in The Faculty, and nobody has him on any list. Surprisingly, like it's Usher. It's not like some like one hit wonder.
Right.
It's fucking Usher. But yeah, he's in The
That's a big
Faculty. 1998.
Dude, it's just such a good, like every one that's come up as 98 was like, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that.
Right.
Like, I also
Yeah.
think I remember, I mean, at that time, I think I was always like renting horror movies
Mm-hmm.
at that period of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like I don't know, it kind of goes in waves. Like I mean, for our generation, that would be late 90s. It's kind of like we're close to, I don't know, whatever age we are, around teenagers, becoming teenagers. Scream comes out in 96 and just kind of like lets everything loose. So yeah, we get like I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Mhm.
The Faculty, Blade, like just a whole bunch of
Liar,
like-
liar.
liar. Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. But yeah, we get like a whole like kind of renaissance. I think that's the word of horror, because yeah, like the 80s were great for horror, but like I feel like they didn't really get popular until later. Like all the John Carpenter stuff, like it all like failed miserably at the box office. Like Halloween, The Thing,
Yeah.
like so he never got to really do the shit that he wanted to because he wasn't making profit. But
Yeah.
now, years later, like it's some of the best movies like ever,
Yeah.
and has like a huge following. So I feel like the 80s movies didn't hit until later. Then like the early 90s, we had like some good ones, but it didn't really kick back in until like mid to late 90s. And I feel like Scream is what kickstarted it. And then
Yeah.
it still kind of has gone in waves, but for the most part, it's stayed pretty steady since then. But yeah, I mean, late 90s, like I said, like we're teenagers. So like we have nothing to do besides go to school and watch movies. So
Yeah.
a lot more time.
God, so much more time.
So much more time. So that was all the musicians that were in horror movies for this particular list. But I grabbed a few that were actors who are also musicians.
I like that.
So we'll start off with Jack Black. And again, with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I fucking hate this character so much. It is like, I'm not a huge fan of Jack Black, the actor. Like when he's like the main actor in a movie, not a fan. When he's like the kind of side character or like not the main guy, I don't mind him as much. But his character, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, is my least favorite of his characters. I cannot stand this character. He's so annoying.
I mean, I'm annoyed just looking at him right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that picture
Yeah.
is, yep. That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah. I can.
Yeah. He's just like the hippie, stoner, annoying fucking dude. And I can't stand it. But then he did go on to, do Goosebumps 1 and 2, and then The House with the Clock in its Walls. Obviously, he's been in a shit ton of stuff. But he's also in Tenacious D, obviously, which I absolutely love Tenacious D. So I have this weird love-hate for Jack Black. Like, musically, love it. Actor,
You don't love Shallow Hal?
I haven't watched Shallow Hal in like 20 years. Old Shallow Hal.
Dude, that was one of those random ass movies on DVD that for some reason my younger sister but Jess, you know how like just kids, I'm sure Brody has like movies or had movies that just pick and then watch them 5,000 times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for some reason Jess watched Shallow Hal over and over and over again.
Such an odd movie,
right?
To,
Just
to just watch over and over again.
But I will take credit for this one. She also seemed like loved to watch that Drive Through Records DVD, like
Okay.
a ton.
Yeah.
Just really, I don't know. So that was a good.
It's so weird what kids like just focus on, like when it comes to like movies or entertainment.
Polar Express too.
Polar Express.
Oh, and I think the biggest one was The Golden Compass.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I remember remember when movies would come with it'd have like a little pamphlet inside with like shit you could buy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was an actual Golden Compass.
Oh wow.
And yeah, my sister ended up getting it, and it was, I think, pretty expensive too.
And then probably lost it immediately.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't ever watch The Golden Compass. I know what it is, but I never watched it. But yeah, it's such a fun assortment of viewings there.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal Gets a Gal or something like that.
Yeah. Such an odd movie. So yeah, next one, Jared Leto. Obviously everyone knows Jared Leto, but as far as horror movie goes, Urban Legend from 1998. Love that movie. And then of course, American Psycho.
God, Urban Legend. Now I want to go watch that again. What? How
Right?
many movies came out in 98?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. 98 was a fun year for horror.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's I'm not going to be able to think of any of them off the top of my head. I want to say, well, Scream was 96. Scream 2, I think that was 97. I think that was the next year. So we didn't have a Scream in 98. But every other horror movie apparently came out in 98.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Urban Legend, fantastic, and that's another one I watched somewhat recently, within the past year or so, for a review. And you remember anything about it?
Urban Legend?
Yeah, as far as like how it ends or anything.
No, it's been so long.
Okay.
Probably been since the 90s since I've seen
The
it.
90s. All right, so spoiler alert for Urban Legend. All right, throwing it out there.
Attention.
So I just wanted to use that sound again. So we had to be dramatic about it for a movie that came out in 98. But Urban Legend, so Rebecca Gayheart is the killer. And so she gets quote unquote killed at the end of it. And I think it's Jared Leto and then the main girl are the ones who survive. And then at the very last scene is showing another college, and they're talking about the urban legend of the girl who killed everyone at the college. And then you see Rebecca Gayheart, and she's sitting there with them. And Scream 2 takes place at a college, and Rebecca Gayheart is there. Like she plays like just some random character. And I always thought it was such a missed opportunity that they should have had Scream 2 and Urban Legend be in the same universe, and she should have been one of the Ghostface killers.
Oh, man.
Like, how fucking cool would that have been? Because obviously, like, Scream,
cool.
like, everyone knows Scream. Urban Legend, like, a lot of people do, but it's, like, it's not nearly as popular. So, like, it would have been so cool to just kind of, like, merge those just for one movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a cool idea.
Because especially since her character in Scream 2, like, doesn't really do much. She's not, like, a pivotal character at all. Like, you see her in, like, a scene or two. So, like, it could have been so cool.
I can't think of who that is.
Rebecca Gayheart?
Yeah.
She is, let me pull her up real quick. I can't think of what else she's in.
Jared Leto still looks like that.
Well, yeah, he's because he's a cult.
Okay.
He's a cult leader, so he doesn't age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be such a huge Jared Leto fan, and just like the past like 5 years, I'm just like, I just can't anymore. Like you're too weird, bro.
Yeah, we saw him a little bit at that We Are Young.
Oh yeah,
We Were Young. We Are Young. Why can't
I don't know. We are and or were young.
We used to be young.
We used to be
Festival.
young, and now we're not.
Yep. But yeah, he was dressed looking like Macho Man Randy Savage or something like.
Okay. Usually he's looking like Jesus, so.
Yeah, well, it was like a combination of. Well, I mean, if you think of like how Macho Man looked back then, it was like.
Well, okay, yeah.
Like beard and long, like hair down to here. And,
Yeah.
And. Yeah, he had like real sparkly like robe and.
Yeah.
And like goggles on his head, I think, or something. Not like Seth Green goggles, but
back to it's always back to Seth Green.
Yeah.
Also his brother.
Seth Green's his brother.
Yes. Seth Leto. But yeah, it's such like he's such a good actor before he like started doing all these shit movies. And like his music's pretty good, except for like the past 2 shit albums. But yeah, so like before the past 5 to 10 years, I really like Jared Leto. And yeah, I just can't get down with him anymore. He's just he's too out there, too much weird shit. Keep hearing his name associated with things that shouldn't be, and can't do it. So, here you go. So, one that I discovered right after we were done recording the last episode that you were on, Jamie Campbell Bower, of course, from Sweeney Todd, 2007, and Stranger Things season 4 from 2022, is in a band, or I don't know if they're still a band, but they were as of a couple years ago, called Counterfeit, which I've heard of, but I never never really listened to. And I pulled up a couple songs earlier just to like give it a listen. It's not bad, but it's something I'd have to listen to a little bit that I'd probably like at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. But yeah, it was interesting though. That turns out he's in a band. You got anything? Nope.
I feel like when they do the Bee Gees skits on SNL,
Mhm.
and it's like Jimmy Fallon plays like the Bee Gee that talks a lot, and then Justin Timberlake, his character, all he does is like, no, I don't.
Yeah, I remember that. Got nothing to say. You're just here. Just here for a good time.
Yeah, I thought that like looking through these would spark some, and it still might. I'm behind on my freaking homework, so
That's all right. It's all right. I just,
I was doing that earlier.
it's all good. But that was the list that I had. But then we'll hit up some social media here because we got some feedback from the social medias. So our first one's from the Facebook group, and our friend Danielle said Jimmy knows that the best is clearly John Bon Jovi's role in Cry Wolf. Have you seen Cry Wolf?
I haven't, and I as you know, I mean, I love some Bon Jovi.
Yeah, you do.
So I will have to check that out.
Yes. So he was in
Look
he was
that
in
there.
Vampires Los Muertos from 2002, which I don't think I've actually ever watched that like the whole way through. So I do need to check that out. But Cry Wolf, yeah, he's the professor here, and it's a pretty good movie. Like it's a good time, and Bon Jovi's in it quite a bit, so definitely recommend Cry Wolf. There's a cool
Yeah.
little twist to it. So in Discord, one of my mods, Fairy, says, not sure if this counts, but I loved Aaliyah in Queen of the Damned. And then Goalie Julie added, she's also partial to Jonathan Davis playing the ticket scalper in Queen of the Damned. Although brief in screen time, she looks forward to it every time she watches it.
Huh.
So, of course, Aaliyah is the main vampire. Jonathan Davis is a scalper, but Jonathan Davis does all the singing in the movie. Like, he's the singing voice for Lestat.
Oh,
So I mentioned it like last time you were here that Queen of the Damned, Aaliyah obviously is like the main person, but then Lestat from Interview with the Vampire, because it's a sequel to that. So Lestat becomes a rock star, and his singing voice is Jonathan Davis.
interesting.
Yeah, but I haven't watched it in so long. I don't really remember it, so I need to find it again because it's another one that's just not streaming.
Oh, here's one, and I don't know if this doesn't really count as horror, but what was that? What was that? Paradise City.
Paradise City.
I enjoyed it. It was Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides.
Oh, okay.
It's like a show.
Oh, it's a show.
I think it
is a
Right.
show.
Yeah,
Wait, yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Okay.
That's-
Yeah, I haven't checked that out. He was in American Satan.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked.
I only ever watched that once, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I need
Same.
to check that out again too. But yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking of. But I think we started watching Paradise City. I don't remember if we finished it, but American Satan was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check out Paradise City though. I didn't realize he was in anything else. So yeah.
I thought he did. I was impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Like-
I wasn't sure. Like I've never been a huge fan of Black Veil Brides, and
Yeah.
I like their music. I hate his voice.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like I like their songs. I just can't get past his.
Yeah. Like he seems like his look, like everything about him, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
I can't do it with the real deep voice. It just doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when that movie came out, I was like, I don't know about this.
And fun fact about that I thought that was funny was it's like he plays, the rock star in the movie, and then they don't even use his voice for like the band that he plays in.
Really?
It's I love those songs in that movie. The band is called it's like Payal Royale. But yeah, no, you would really like them.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I said, I only ever watched it once, so I don't remember anything really about it. But I have to check it out. That's funny that that they didn't use his voice.
Yeah.
He's a singer, being an actor, and they didn't use his singing voice.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah,
Poor
you'll
guy.
notice like when the songs kick in and stuff that it's like, yeah, it's not
Whole
even-
other voice.
It's a whole other voice. Yeah.
But yeah, that movie though, it's pretty good. It's another one I have thought of it, and I think I tried seeing if it was on streaming and couldn't find it anywhere. So yeah, I'll have to check that one out again as soon as I can. And that kind of same vein, but not really. What the hell is his name? It's from Jennifer's Body. The dude from the OC. Adam Brody.
Mm.
He's like the lead singer for that band in Jennifer's Body that like that kicks everything off. But then I don't know what the actual band is that plays that song, but like that song's catchy as fuck. I don't know if you remember it or not, but or if you've ever seen Jennifer's Body.
No, I haven't. I remember seeing. Isn't that? I want to say All Time Low has a song in that, like Toxic Valentine or something.
Maybe. I'm not sure who was on the soundtrack, but yeah, they play it a couple times throughout the movie, but it's a catchy one in a weird emo kind of way.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yes. So on TikTok, Brian Fears Ghost says, I can't think of many off the top of my head, but Meatloaf being in a B-movie horror Burning Bright was a shock. So Brian Fears Ghost, he is very fucking knowledgeable on horror movies, and I have been introduced to many of them via his videos. So this Burning Bright, I have no idea what that movie is. I've never seen it, so I had to look it up. Meatloaf is obviously in it. But yeah, I'll have to check that. I have to add that to my list and check out that movie. But speaking of Meatloaf, he was also in Stage Fright from 2014. Of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975. Sexy Sax Man.
Mom, Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. And then, of course, my favorite role of Meatloaf. It's not a horror movie, but it is Robert Paulson from Fight Club. Bob had bitch tits. He's so good. Like he's good in every role. Like he's just one of those dudes that no matter what he did, he pulled it off. But yeah, Bob from Fight Club is my favorite Meatloaf role of all time. So my buddy Joe on TikTok said Gene Simmons. So Gene was in Trick or Treat from 1986.
Whoa.
With Ozzy. And I must admit, I've never watched that one either, but it is on Screenbox, so I'm going to check it out. I almost watched it today before this, but I just didn't have the time to. But yeah, there's a movie called Trick or Treat, not to be confused with Trick or Treat, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's what confused me there for a second.
But yeah, it's Trick or Treat. So it has Gene Simmons, has Ozzy, and yeah, have to look into that one because yeah, it seems to be a another ridiculous 80s metal movie.
Oh, well, hell yeah.
Right? And then finally on TikTok, Babraham Lincoln. I love her name on there. Abraham Lincoln says D. Snyder. Of course, D. Snyder was in Strangeland from 1998. Have you ever seen
Wow.
Strangeland?
I don't know if I have.
It's a trip. It's a good time, but it's out there. But yeah, D plays the main dude here who's very into body modification and serial killing. So
Yeah,
he goes a little crazy.
Looks ahead of his time there for 98.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, the full facial piercings, tattoos. I mean, that's kind of what it's about. It's like I forget exactly. There's been so many years since I've watched it, but he essentially is like this persona and does terrible things, and then is like, I don't know if he's like arrested and goes to like a rehab of sorts or something, but then he's like becomes a normal member of society, if you will, but is like obviously everyone in town still doesn't trust him, so he's like, you know, bullied, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course reverts back to his ways because of the way he's treated. But yeah, it's a good movie, at least from what I remember. I'll watch it and review it and be like, this is terrible. But no, from what I
Never
remember,
mind.
it's an interesting movie for sure. And just seeing D. Snyder like as like the main, pretty much main character is interesting. He was also on Holliston, which is a TV show created by Adam Green, who of course created Hatchet, Frozen, not the Disney one, and a few other movies. But yeah, he was on 31 episodes of Holliston. That's another one I've always wanted to watch the show, and I don't think it was like on anything that I had, so I haven't checked it out. But one of these days I will. But yeah, D. Snyder out there doing horror things. But yeah, that's all I had for this one. Like I said, there's still plenty out there. We go real deep into the actors and musicians, but I didn't want to go too crazy. I have that problem on here sometimes. I get into lists and then it just keeps going.
Yeah, us art people
Yeah.
with our ADHD shit, just lists and
Right?
things, and next thing you know, just hours pass by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not really anything interesting. I'm just rambling. Nobody cares. But no, it's
There's horseshoes.
shoes.
Are there any horse socks? Is anybody listening to me?
But yeah, no, I just want to throw those ones out there. Have some fun. Talk to you for a bit, because I know you're a busy guy. You don't have much free time, so figure I'd get you back in here for an hour or so and bullshit a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah,
I'd love to do it anytime.
right? And yeah, and like I said, I know it's about to be the kickoff to your busy time of year, so figure I'd get you back in here while I still could.
Yeah, I think February. Yeah, I do have. Yeah, probably two out of the last 3 weeks here. I'll be traveling. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'll be coming back and forth. Our main thing we need to do is buy a house still, so we can get out of Heather's mom's basement.
Yeah,
So we'll be home.
you'll be back for another episode, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, in 2 weeks.
Could be.
That's good. But
Surprise,
no, yeah,
motherfucker.
right? He's back. Yeah, no, we'll get you back here. But yeah, like I know it's regardless of living situation, is kind of once the weather starts breaking and becomes nicer, that's when you get a little busy.
Yep.
And
People want live music.
yeah. But speaking of busy and things that you're doing, I know you are interested in kind of doing jingles or music for podcasts and shows and things like that. So if anyone out there listening would like some custom music, jingles, podcast music, and really any kind of music, hit up my dear friend Jimmy here, because he'll do it up for you. He'll make it happen.
Let me know. I'm about to have a degree in songwriting.
Yeah, look at that.
Only a couple months to go.
Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
It only took me like 6 years
Now,
chipping away at it.
it's the end result is what matters. Doesn't matter how long it took to get there.
Yeah.
That's right. But yeah. So what else you want to say? What else you got going on? Anything big and exciting upcoming? Or just hitting the road and doing your thing?
Yeah. Still a lot of just a whole lot of DIY booking, travel, and with some of the bigger paying gigs sprinkled in there. Like that's why we're going to Florida next week. It's like a college
Okay.
show. So those are the colleges, they have money to burn.
Yeah, right.
So they're just like, here you go, musician guy.
Yeah, fuck it.
I say, thank you.
Yeah, money, please.
I'll take your money.
Well, yeah, it's yeah, good paying gig, and I mean it's college, so there's a good turnout. Kids just want to have fun, so
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
Last night was good.
last night what was last night?
Yeah. I played up at Cafe 210. That's when I
okay.
texted you.
Oh yeah.
Like super. I was getting like ready to leave, and long story short, my my sister was gonna tag along with me, because Heather was working, and yeah, she still just has her vampire schedule, like where she like
Okay. Yeah.
like pretty much stays up all night and sleeps all day. Plus,
Yeah.
Friday I kept Friday off because it was her birthday, so
Okay.
she wanted to sing karaoke at 4Ds, so we did
Gotcha.
that, and then I think she just stayed out all night and had a good time.
Yeah. Can't blame her for that.
Yeah, she's 25 now,
No.
so we're
No.
we're almost dead.
No. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. I don't have anything else to say about that.
I am. Either
That hurts.
hurts my heart.
Hurts my heart. She's like forever 8 in my
Mhm.
mind. But yeah, I would have tagged along, but it was the one night we had planned, so sorry.
Yeah, I texted you 15 minutes before I
Wow,
was leaving,
yeah.
so
Do better.
yeah, I'll try. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
It's always spontaneous.
I mean, we're 20 years into it. I kind of expect it at this point.
Yeah.
It happens. But yeah, so you're on all the socials, all of them, all the social medias.
Yep.
At Jimmy Mowery, right?
Yep. The only weird ones are, I think, like Facebook, which is, usually old people, but that one I had to do Jimmy Mowery music, and then same thing with YouTube. Yeah, everything else I was able to get just my name.
Okay, yeah. Or you can just I think Google search Jimmy Mowery and find him that way too.
That's true. It's cool that comes up
Right?
now.
Yeah, Google. Just a Google away.
You've been Googled.
That's right. You've been struck by a smooth Googler. But all right, that'll do it for another episode. On that note, another episode of Blood, Gore, and Ghouls. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe to our social media accounts: Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Of course, as always, all links are listed in the show notes, and I'll have Jimmy's links in there as well. Go check him out if he's in your area, playing any shows. Check him out. Always a fun time. And again, if you need some custom music, he's looking to do a little bit of that as well. So hit him up. What's your email? Jimmy Mowery
At Gmail.
at gmail.com. Look at that. Nice and easy.
Easy peasy.
But brother, thank you for coming back.
Thanks
so
for
soon.
having me back.
Absolutely. Anytime. We'll do it again here soon.
Yeah.
But until next week, I've been your host, Ian Van Ghoul. Have a ghoulish week and stay safe out there.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you.
There you go. That's it.